We're back with UIW TV. I'm Trey Gwynn.
I'm Sister Martha Ann Kirk.
And it is a day for the history books, March 25th, 2045. Tonight, the University of the Incarnate Word community is celebrating a monumental achievement, the end of global starvation. This milestone is the culmination of a two-decade effort that began in 2025 when UIW students, faculty, and administration committed to a daring goal that would change the world. In 2009, UIW students led a service project hosting the inauguration of the International Charter for Compassion that awakened San Antonio. In 2017, the City Council and Mayor signed a resolution to be a city of compassion and have as a guiding principle the Golden Rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In 2025, students knew that they could have influence since the City Council had followed the lead that UIW students had given them.
Inspired by the legacy of their founders, the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word, who risked their lives to care for the sick in 1869, UIW Cardinals felt a similar call to action. In 2025, they were shocked by what was at that time the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in the history of the world. Now, guided by brilliant and caring faculty, they began to move beyond rhetoric and to focus on data. They found their framework in the work of the Norwegian peace researcher Johan Galtung, the founder of the Peace Research Institute in Oslo, Norway. The Cardinals were horrified to learn that their own country ranked 128 out of the 163 nations in the world on the Global Peace Index. Now, instead of despairing, they saw a mission. Let's go from community service to global transformation.
That's right, sister. UIW requires all undergraduates to complete 45 hours of community service. As more and more faculty members began using the GivePulse platform, which connects student service projects with the UN, Sustainable Development Goals, and the 23 indicators of positive peace that Galtung defined, students started aligning their majors, minors, and life goals with the 17 Sustainable Developmental Goals. Those are 1. No poverty, 2. Zero hunger, 3. Good health and well-being, 4. Quality education, 5. Gender equality, 6. Clean water and sanitation, 7. Affordable and clean energy, 8. Decent work and economic growth, 9. Industry, innovation and infrastructure, 10. Reduced inequalities, 11. Sustainable cities and communities, 12. Responsible consumption and production, 13. Climate action, 14. Life below water, 15. Life on land, 16. Peace, justice, and strong institution, 17. Get this, partnerships for the goals.
What beautiful goals. Aligning your life with those is marvelous. Now, faculty help students reflect on Catholic social teaching, which integrates ideas from the Sustainable Development Goals and the 23 elements that build positive peace. The presence of social justice is the garden in which peace grows. As Pope Paul VI had said, if you want peace, work for justice. Faculty continually challenge students to think systemically, connecting their local work to global issues. The Global Peace Index uses 23 indicators to assess the peacefulness of countries, categorized under 3 domains. First, ongoing domestic and international conflict. Second, social security and safety. Third, militarization. Now, these indicators, drawn from very reputable sources, provide a comprehensive view of a nation's peacefulness. Students have learned solid research methods from their professors, both qualitative and quantitative research. One can count the challenges, and then one can develop strategies for addressing them. One can count deaths from violence, both internally in a country and in their outreach in other countries. One can count incidents of homicide and suicide and calculate their relationships to easy access to weapons. Locally, nationally and globally. Students started making connections. Activities with teens in a disadvantaged neighborhood could encourage them to be the neighborhood heroes, caring for the elders and the youth. Students began to ask questions like, is that global terrorist the teen who didn't get the attention that he needed? The students became more sophisticated in their research. They calculated how many neighborhood food pantries could be stocked, how many neighborhood recreation centers could be built, and how many pre-K schools could start for the cost of one bomber. As the students did service activities guided by their teachers, they began to see themselves in the faces of the refugees and to see themselves in the faces of the incarcerated. Compassion transforms us from condemning judges into the human family in solidarity for a better future for all. Catholic social teaching would say God's global family in solidarity. The 23 indicators on the Global Peace Index and the UN Sustainable Development Goals became the compasses for finding direction in the students' lives and in society around them.
Wonderful. A key revelation for our students came when they learned that just 3% of the U.S. military budget could end world starvation. This knowledge is what sparked a fire. No longer content to remain in a bubble, they were determined to become agents of change. They adopted the philosophy of Albert Einstein, who believed that war could only be abolished, not humanized. The UIW community was courageous like the 5 Incarnate Sisters who persisted in the orphanage fire. They had rescued 98 little boys, but 2 were still missing. The UIW community began to dismantle the propaganda that war brings peace, much like the dismantling of the false advertising of the tobacco industry was exposed in the 1950s. Advertisements showed doctors and nurses promoting cigarettes.
I can remember nurses advertising cigarettes.
Not something that you would see today. The UIW community embraced the teachings of Pope Francis, who condemned nuclear deterrence, and the wisdom of U.S. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had said that every weapon built is a theft from the needy. This transformation wasn't a solo effort. Students and faculty led each other and encouraged each other. They were all realizing the wisdom of Mahatma Gandhi. One finds oneself when one loses oneself in service to others.
This unfolding transformation was built on the service of the university's dedicated faculty, such as the recipients of the UIW Edward Sokolsky Faculty Service Learning Award. These faculty members have inaugurated service into their teaching, inspiring students to engage in meaningful community work and to reflection and analysis. 2025, Dr. Stephanie Grote Garcia led a student club supporting Special Olympic athletes and staff, contributing to positive peace building. 2024, Dr. Patrick Muhlberger guided students in providing basic health care in San Antonio's homeless population through the street medicine movement. 2023, Dr. Jeanette Wong Powell expanded her passion for mission trips into institutionalized service learning opportunities for optometry students in Yucatan, Mexico. 2022, Dr. Heather Barton Weston trained and led students as vax ambassadors to promote COVID-19 vaccination in Bexar County and beyond, saving lives. In 2021, Dr. David Armstrong helped students develop empathy for the hungry through literature and food collection efforts. 2020, Dr. Lopita Nath taught students to build relationships with refugee families, fostering understanding of immigration and human rights.
That's right, and we know that the list could go on, such as in 2019, Dr. Yvonne Davila spearheaded interprofessional health screening events at Haven for Hope, a shelter for the unhoused. In 2018, Dr. Tracy Edmond innovated a tri-sector collaboration model, blending service and accounting education with real-world experience. 2017, Dr. Russell Coates coordinated service learning trips to disadvantaged areas in the U.S., Guatemala, and Peru, providing eye care and promoting global citizenship. 2016, Teresa Tigeman coordinated the Volunteers and Income Tax Assistance Program, a long-running project where students help low-income individuals and the elderly with their taxes. 2004, Margaret Mitchell of Theater Arts taught compassion by leading students in sewing dolls for disadvantaged children. 2003, Dr. Sarah Kolb of Nursing, the first award recipient, was recognized for her work on the Ministerio de Salud project, which provided health services to underserved elderly populations and offered service learning opportunities for nursing students. And we could go on and on.
Ultimately, the Cardinals learned that outer peace is impossible without inner peace. They implemented the peace game as a framework of 7 actions that starts with personal empowerment and moves toward building movements for peace. In the Peace Game by 2030, Peace on Earth by 2030 model involving 7 tested actions. One begins with self-empowerment, realizing that I have value, I have power, and I can use it for good. The second action is extremely difficult and only for the courageous, but Cardinals are courageous. Get close to someone who is different. Listen to them. Don't isolate yourself. Whether in the world of politics, religion, cultural practices, be around those who are different. Listen respectfully to the other. Much encouragement and coaching were needed for this. The Cardinals found that having small support groups of about 3 people helped process the challenges and then the great benefits of this.
I believe it was David Gershom, the inventor of the Peace Game and a global expert in social change, repeats the wisdom of James Gardner. The world is full of breathtaking opportunities, masquerading as intractable problems. Don't you love that?
The problems are our opportunities.
Absolutely. Something that we have seen over and over, time and again, with our faculty and our students. And so we declared, let's take on those opportunities. The Peace Game refers to a framework that promotes 7 transformational practices for creating peace, both individually and collectively. The 7 sections or actions of the Peace Game are empowerment, empowering oneself, oneness, befriending others, unity, celebrating shared humanity, cooperation, working with others, abundance, supporting peace, organizations, love, praying for and visualizing peace, faith, engaging others in the game. These are the actions and practices that deepen over time. Another way to think of this is a structure with 4 parts: capacity building, peace building, field building, and movement building. It serves as an empowerment platform for individuals to create peaceful lives and inspire others.
The practices of the Peace on Earth movement relate so much to the incarnational spirituality of the founders, the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word, and a main idea in their constitution: bringing the love of God through the promotion of human dignity. Now, in 2045, with Peace on Earth, the U.S. military budget has been repurposed. 3% of it has ended global starvation. The UIW community has already been making plans what can be done with the other 97% of the budget. And they have a renewed focus on healing and service. The only way to completely defeat enemies is to make them one's friends. Listen to that, Dr. Gwen. Make them your friends.
I like that.
Community service starts this transformation.
Well, here we are, and as we sign off on this great day, March 25th, 2045, it is with gratitude in our hearts that we can declare, looking into the teleprompter together, that the Cardinals ended global starvation.
I don't know when I've been having so much fun.
I always have fun with you.